nose in because diving safety record was not it was fading. You know, there were problems with diving safety record, and they decided to step in. And that didn't happen, but they were really worried that would happen. And that's what generated the new training agencies and the technical training agencies, the specialists. And then the major agencies decided, especially as far as nitrox was concerned, but that they'd accept nitrox anyway. You know, they join in with that. They'd accept nitrox anyway. You know, they join in with that. And some of the technical agencies, one in particular, decided that they would then broaden their spectrum and cover all ranges of diving. That training agency has managed to conquer a little bit the mainstream, but there are still technically specific agencies around, and they have very capable people running them and are doing exceptionally well, and they're happy with the niche, with remaining in the niche. But at the same time, there are now some extremely qualified people, well-qualified people in all the major agencies. You know, PADI, SSI, all the agencies have some really good people. And what they have is the money and the manpower and the research background and everything else to make strides that the small agencies cannot. They're able to push in directions that the smaller agencies can't. And that's great. I think everybody benefits. It really is a question of, you know, a rising tide lifts all boats. It really is a question of that. And I think the more work that's done, the more that that organizations like Dan do, and it's all beneficial. The more people involved, the better. That's my view. Mm. Yeah. 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 I did, but yeah, I in the early days I did some cave diving. I did plenty of wrecks around the world.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, when it comes to tech diving, I think it's awesome how it's expanded. I think it's awesome how it's much more accepted, and you're not blacklisted per se because you're doing tech diving anymore.
in the late 90s,
because let's face it, all those pioneer guys took a lot of heat over some of their research and their diving that they did back then.
We were just several hops on the island hopper away from Madro, and then from Madro
so
we take the plane.
Where is your favorite place? I know you've done a lot of stuff in Guam, but do you do cave diving at all, or
fabulous
wreck diving, or
and yeah, and it's so accessible. You know, the advent of technical diving opened up the wrecks of Bikini because because they were beyond accepted sport diving.
You've done Bikini,
but they're not super deep. You know, you're not diving to ridiculous depths, and you're able to get some nice long bottom times on the ships. It's just fabulous diving, fabulous. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. He's doing his operation is exceptional. There's a piece I wrote about technical diving tourism, which is in one of the books. Maybe it's in that book too. But what Pete is doing is really he's covering all the bases when he does these trips. He's making sure the equipment is there and the gases are there, and the backup is there, and everything else. And he's got this taped. He does an excellent job. And when you think about it, that was something that we never had back in the old days. We really were at the if you wanted to do an
yeah, I've heard that. I had Pete Mesley on here who runs trips over
to a lot of effort. There were very few people who had the time to do it. But now, if you look at what Pete's doing, he's taking all the stress out of it. You can do technical diving exploration if you like, just like you book a holiday, just like you book. He's taken all the effort out of it, which is wonderful. Really, really amazing. Sure. Well, yeah. Yes. Yeah. No, that's very good. He does a couple of those a year, I think, and yeah, fantastic. And Truk is still great wreck diving, exceptional wreck diving. And the people at Blue Lagoon who Pete works with, they know their wrecks. The guides are fabulous. We were there, where were we there? Last June, in June 24. We were there for a week. And yeah, and it was good as ever. Really nice.
Yeah.
Oh, probably 14, 15.
I really want to go do a trip to Truk Lagoon with him.
Yeah.
What his truck is. That's one of my bucket list dives for sure. Is Truk Lagoon. And if I do it, I want to do it with Pete.
It's not the most famous, but it's beautiful. Beautiful wreck. And yeah, and there's still, there's as you know, there's a couple that are leaking oil now. There's a couple, the masts have come down. There's a little bit of, the sea is taking its toll, and at some point, unfortunately, in the future, the wrecks will disappear. They will be, the sea will take them over. But we're now at the point where.
How many dives did you do in a weekend, Truk?
Around the wrecks is as good as it's ever been. They really are little oases in the ocean.
And what's your favorite wreck?
And you may not be able to get the kind of penetrations that you used to do because of collapsing metal hull, parts of the structure collapsing. But around the wreck, there's a lot of marine life. There's always something to see. There's plenty of stuff. It's nice. Go. No. They are, when we were there in June, there was a team from Japan who were there for a couple of weeks, and what they are doing is recovering human parts from the wrecks and taking them back to Japan for burial and for whatever they do with it. But and this is very respectfully done. It's been going on for decades, and every so often they find more bones in other wrecks, and then the team comes out again, and they.
I definitely want to go.
I think it's a government-sponsored
Do you still see a lot of bones on the wrecks in Truk?
It's been going on quite a while, and that's. I mean,
they pretty well clean those off.
It really is. It's a great thing for them to do, and to and not, and timely, because yes, if they're going to do that, they have to do it now. And I think you may be aware of some ships in the South China Sea which were dived. They were also wrecks, and unfortunately pirate metal. Yeah, you're nodding, and pirates have basically come on and disappeared these wrecks. They've just gone. They've been lifted off the seabed and just gone, and that's absolutely tragic. In Truk, there's been a lot more. They treat the wrecks as they should.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's wrong. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Which is awesome. And it's good that they're removing the bones and putting them away, because there's nothing more that bothers me than seeing a diver on a wreck taking some video down there looking around. Next thing you know, they're picking up human remains and stuff, which is not cool. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna dive those places, then fine, respect it and don't disturb the human remains. Well, thank you very much for coming on the podcast today, Simon. It has been amazing talking to you. I've really enjoyed it. And I look forward to your new books that are coming out. And thanks everybody for joining me on the Deadfoot Diver podcast today. And remember, grab an adventure and live.